What's up, guys? We're back. We got another bracketology for you guys. We got a new number one. If only someone had told you that Alabama Crimson Tide were, you never know what you're going to get out of them. Arkansas goes and they beat the number one last week, and then they lose to Alabama on Saturday. You never know with the Alabama Crimson Tide. Not to mention the fact, is there a hotter team in basketball right now than the Rutgers Scarlet Knights?
No, I don't think there is. I don't think there's a single team hotter.
Them boys at Rutgers are getting it going. A week that could propel them just that week alone into the Ncaa tournament. So much happened this week. We're ready to get into it. But before we get into it, I want to thank you guys here at the Z-Dub Sports Nation. You guys have been doing great. You're helping our videos explode. We've done better than we could have imagined with this channel. You guys are, we just like talking basketball, and you guys are watching us. And we're so thankful for you guys' support. Keep hitting that like, keep hitting that subscribe. We want to get up to 100 subscribers here, hopefully before the tournament gets going. So let's see that keep climbing, and hopefully you guys enjoy this video here. We're going to get into it, and we're going to start with, as we usually do, Joe Lunardi's new bracketology that came out today. And we'll start with the new, as it mentions, the same number one overall seed here. And there's some teams to watch here. But let's get into it. And we got the last four buys sitting here. Looks like North Carolina made their way back into that column from the last four in. I think that's a change we see.
Yeah, that's a change.
Miami's fallen up. I think they climbed up back into the tournament, right?
Yeah, I think they did. I think their win against Wake Forest is probably what put them back in.
So they switched spots with Wake here as Miami falls back into, or jumps back into the tournament, and Wake Forest falls into the last four buys. As for the last four in, we see the Iowa State Cyclones there. We see the BYU Cougars. We see the Oregon Ducks fall into the last four in. They'd made their way into the tournament in a solid spot there, Zach.
Yeah, they had a really bad loss this week, losing to California at home. A 10-15 California really hurt Oregon, but I still hope they can get into the tournament, and they got some chances coming up.
We'll see what happens with the Ducks. In the first four out, we see two teams who big wins. We had a big win for Memphis on Saturday, beating Houston in Houston, I believe.
Yeah, Houston. That was huge. That saved their season.
That's the Fighting Penny Hardaways are fighting along. That was a big win. We'll talk about Houston later. We'll get into Houston later. But for Memphis, that's a big win. Michigan had a big week last week. They did lose on Saturday to Ohio State. I watched some of that game. I liked what I saw out of the Fighting Juwan Howards in that game. Michigan looked good. So they're going to keep climbing. They were in the next four out on Friday, were they not?
Yeah, that Purdue win was huge. They just need to get it. They just need to string together a couple of games. Because I think if they could have won the Ohio State game, they're probably in the tournament right now.
They still got another game with Ohio State. They got to go to Columbus for a game. They still got some games left where they can keep winning. But the Fighting Juwan Howards are getting better. We'll see how they keep going. As we mentioned the other day, they're a team that if they get in, they can do some damage. They got some pedigree on that team. They've been there, done that. So we'll see. Over to the next four out, and the team we just mentioned was the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
they were the most interesting team, like the most interesting resume in years now. I think they have two quad four losses early in the year. They lost to Lafayette University and some other scrub school. And now we're looking at Rutgers team with 6 quadrant one wins. And they're good quadrant one wins.
They beat 3 ranked teams in their past few games. They beat Wisconsin on Saturday.
On the road.
Even. On the road. They knocked off Purdue.
Earlier in the year beat Purdue. And then I'm blanking on the other ranked team. Oh, Ohio State.
Ohio State. They have a win over Ohio State.
Yeah.
So Rutgers is continuing to play better. They're a team that's getting hot right now. They're going to Michigan State also. Sorry, that was the team I was thinking of. Was Michigan State.
Oh, wow.
They beat Michigan State.
Blew them out,
on the 5th. They're playing well. They're playing some good basketball. We'll see how they keep going. They got another ranked matchup on Wednesday night when they take on the Illini. Look out for the Scarlet Knights, man. We see a team right there in a Big 12 team with the Kansas State Wildcats make their way in there. I think this is the first time we see Kansas State.
It is.
Since we've been recording here.
This is the first time they've been putting together. They've played more quadrant one games than any other team in the country. So at 13-11, This is still a really good team.
And it gets props to the Big 12, putting Kansas State there. It recognizes the strength of that division. You go in there and for Kansas State, they're not up to the par of them. But if you put them in another conference, where's Kansas State? Where is Kansas State if they're in the Pac-12 or if they're in the
even win it
in the ACC? Where's Kansas State?
I think they're like third or fourth in the ACC probably. There's only like, if let's say ACC for example, they'd be behind Duke and they'd be behind. Really, Duke might be the only team I can for sure
100% say they're behind.
And then the others, I think they're right in there with them.
So the Wildcats are a good team. We'll see how it keeps going. Now we'll get into the bracket here, and we're going to move over to our bracket here. And we'll start with the number 1 overall seed, the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Gonzaga plays Colgate in this matchup here. I think we easy Gonzaga right there.
Yep.
Colorado State, Notre Dame. Colorado State is a team. Zach, you're repping them right now.
Let's go.
Colorado State got a win on Sunday against Boise State in overtime. You guys both saw Colorado State. You got 30 seconds. Give me a rundown of that Rams team.
For how undersized they are, they really play well against an oversized Boise State team who's bigger than a lot of even Power 5 teams. And they were able to go on the road, even though there wasn't a whole lot of people there. It was loud for the amount of people, and they went out and pulled out the dub in overtime.
Yeah, it was a good game to watch. Seeing David Roddy in person, like you can tell on TV, that's a big boy. But he was a big boy, and he was big in that game. It was fun to see Colorado State win.
Comparisons were made on the TV broadcast. Sorry, we're jumping here. Let's get into this game in a second. Comparisons were made, David Roddy to an undersized, smaller Charles Barkley. That was what they're saying on the TV. Wow. Zach, what do you think about that?
That's interesting. I get definitely that makes sense. That's a good comparison. The way they play, the way they bully guys. Mm-hmm. I like how they said that.
That's fair. All right, now this game right here, they take on the Irish right here. The Irish have been a good team. We saw them when this first started. They were in the next 4 out. They were a team that we were talking about how no one wants to compare resumes to, but their brand might get them in. But now they've worked their way up to a 9 seed. What do you see in this game here?
This is a good game, and these teams match up fairly well against each other. I like David Roddy, and Isaiah Stevens is also one of the best point guards in the country for Colorado State. So I think their experience would get them by in this game.
I like Colorado State too. We'll send them right through. Alabama, they get their win on Saturday against Arkansas, and they're sitting here again at a 5, taking on Chattanooga. I think Alabama, at their best, Alabama is a team that can make a run to the Final Four. At their worst, Alabama is a team that could easily lose this game right here to Chattanooga. So I don't know.
Yeah, Chattanooga is one of the better mid-major schools now by far. They definitely are. Mm-hmm. The season they're putting together is really good. But I think I'll go Bama here.
Bama.
I'll take Bama.
I'm comfortable saying Bama, but that's a game that Bama could easily lose. That's Alabama for you. Wisconsin here against South Dakota State. I want to pick the Rabbits right now.
You like the Rabbits?
I like the Rabbits.
What do you like, Trey?
I like the Rabbits too. Wisconsin's kind of been falling apart on.
They're struggling lately.
Okay, I can go Rabbits.
You like Rabbits here?
And if you shut down Johnny Davis, and if the Rabbits if the Rabbits have a guy that can, I don't know the Rabbits well enough, but if they have a guy that can shut down Johnny Davis, the upset could definitely happen.
I didn't love what I saw at Wisconsin this weekend. They're a team. It's not even just this weekend. They're a team that's been struggling lately, struggling to get some wins.
Yeah.
Stock is not high in Wisconsin. If you believe Wisconsin can figure it out, I think now's the time to buy stock if you're a gambler in Wisconsin, because you're never going to find it much lower than what it is right now.
That's a good point.
But LSU and San Francisco right here. We've mentioned how you turn this into a defensive game. LSU, no one's who's going to compete with the LSU on defense. But the issue is you win games by scoring buckets. And can LSU score the buckets in this game?
If Xavier Pinson, I've been low on LSU in these last little bit. They haven't had Xavier Pinson, one of their leading scorers, but even with Xavier Pinson, I think this is a pretty weak 6 seed team, and I think San Francisco is pretty good, so I think they could probably win this game.
LSU is a team who has peaked in how high did LSU get?
They got to 3, I think.
Yeah, they got way up there. They peaked at near the top of the rankings, and who at moments have had a lot of people's eyes. And for me, I wouldn't mind picking San Francisco here. I think they're in a much improved West Coast Conference. So I would be comfortable. This is kind of turning into an upset bracket right now, but I'd be comfortable saying maybe San
do
Francisco
it.
gets it.
Yeah,
Well,
I've watched a few games from both of those teams, and I think San Francisco could win this game. It'd be close, but I think San Francisco can get that.
And the 11 has in the last 9 tournaments, the 11 seed has won over the 56% of the time. Just a random.
We got Texas Tech here against Montana State. Let's rattle this off. I think Tech gets this.
Tech,
Any
I would
arguments?
agree.
Good.
Nope.
No.
Marquette and Murray State. Now this is a game where we had Marquette go into the finals last week. We agreed that was a bit circumstantial and kind of the way the matchups played out. But how do you feel about Marquette in this one?
I feel good. Murray State's a really good team out of the Ohio Valley, but I think Marquette's still more complete.
Marquette, let's go. Duke, Yale, Duke, Marquette, Duke.
Duke again.
I'll go Marquette still.
Yeah.
This is the biggest, like of all the 2 seeds by far, this is the one who will lose in the second game to me. And I think it'd be Marquette actually. Like,
you think Marquette?
Really believe Marquette.
Okay. I'm not 100% sold on Duke. If you're confident in sending the.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I'd probably, if I had a bunch of money, I'd probably bet on Marquette.
Marquette, you'd probably get some plus money on it. So that'd be good for that. You got Tech in San Francisco here. Tech.
I like Tech.
Tech's just a much better
Tech.
team.
Bama, South Dakota.
I kind of want to see the
Rabbits go
the
another.
Rabbits.
I think they can do it.
Rabbits get another one. Gonzaga and Colorado State.
Gonzaga.
Yeah, as much as I
Zags.
love Colorado State, it's Zags. Yeah.
Zags. I think Zags again.
Yep.
Tech and Marquette. What do you got here?
I think I still, even though Tech did lose by 15 last week to Oklahoma, that's worth mentioning.
Yeah.
I don't see that being really they're still a great team.
I think Tech gets this again. Now you got Tech and Gonzaga right here. What do you think? It's a rematch. We see that again. If you go back and watch other videos we've had this game matchup probably at least three other times where these two teams have come across each other in the tournament. It'd be a rematch of a match earlier this year. And to me, I think Gonzaga rolls in this one. I think Gonzaga is firing on all cylinders right now. I skip back, watch my recap of Gonzaga the other day, but I think Gonzaga right now has a better shot to win it this year than they had last year. The way this team is shaped, the way this team is. So I picked Gonzaga and I picked them quite confident here.
I'm pretty confident Gonzaga, especially out of all the 1 seeds at this moment. I like Gonzaga by far the most.
Send the Zags right there. And we'll move down the bracket and we'll move in here. And we got the new number one seed, the Kentucky Wildcats. Kentucky is a team who have caught a lot of people's attention in the last month. They've been playing some good basketball. Now they're going to go on the road this week, tonight, actually, into Knoxville. We'll see how they get. This is a game where I have this game circled. I'm going to try and catch as much of it as I can. I know Zach's probably going to try and watch the whole game, and we're going to give you our read on it. This is a chance where Tennessee's going to get a chance to prove themselves. But we'll talk about that when we talk Tennessee. As for the Wildcats here, Wildcats roll right here.
Yep.
Easily.
Kentucky, Seton Hall, Indiana.
I like Indiana.
If Seton Hall's been banged up for like weeks now, so it depends on their
Pirates get healthy.
If they're healthy, I want to say Seton Hall, but as of now, they've not been that healthy. So I'll go
Indiana. I'd say Seton Hall right here. I think the Pirates get healthy. I think Seton Hall is going to get. They have some wins. I haven't loved Indiana. Seton Hall's shown higher potential to me. So in a game where I'm indifferent to both teams, I'll take the potential and pick Seton Hall. But we'll send Indiana through. Texas and North Texas here. We've been high on the Mean Green.
But I'm high. I think I'm higher. I'm higher on the Longhorns.
Yeah. The Battle of Texas right there. Give it to the Longhorns. Houston and Vermont. Now, this is Zach and I have been waiting for Houston to unravel.
Yeah.
We've for a long time in our private discussions and on this show, we've been saying, how long can the Cougars keep going? They're missing their best players.
It was surprising they made it as long as they did, but they were 20-2.
They made a good run, but now I think we're starting to see it all unfold. And the losses to SMU and Memphis this week did not help their case. And I think this is only the beginning. I don't want to say that's not to say Houston's going to lose out. That's not to say Houston's going to fall all the way down to a 9 seed. But I think this shows Houston for who they are, and I don't think they're a team that's going to make a run to the Final Four. In this matchup here, I pick Houston.
I would too. I think they're good enough to get by this game, but I won't get ahead. But I think that's where it's going to end, though.
Yeah.
Arkansas, Oklahoma here. Arkansas was a team who had a big win on Tuesday, and then they went in on Saturday and lost to Alabama. How much of that is a hangover?
Yeah, losing to Bama by 1 on the road. Honestly, that's
Mhm.
it's never a win, but that's as much of a moral win as you can get because Bama's a pretty tough place to go in and beat in these last 3-4 years.
Mhm.
And I'm still in love with this Arkansas team.
So like the Hogs? I like the Hogs
Hogs
here too. Oklahoma did get a big win though. They got a win over Texas Tech, and then they hung in there with Kansas. They were in that game with the Jayhawks. Good week for Oklahoma last week. Their stock's rising. You see if the Sooners can keep booming along and keep going. You got Providence and Liberty here. I like the Friars in this game. I don't think there's much discussion in it.
They'll probably win. The best 14-3 game would be this one though.
Yeah. Wyoming and Miami. I like Wyoming. Wyoming's made their way into the rankings, actually ranked number 22 now in the AP poll. Sorry. And now I think Wyoming wins this one.
Yeah. Wyoming's really good.
Wyoming gets that one. Now Purdue. I think Purdue rolls right there. Now you got Purdue and Wyoming.
It's a good game.
I think Purdue wins it, but there is a potential that Wyoming could do something here.
I actually agree. I think Wyoming stacks up pretty well against Purdue because we both, all three of us have seen both these teams play a lot this year, and the amount that these teams stack up is I think more closer than people understand. Like I'll just quickly like Drake Jeffries, Sasha Stavanovich, 3-point shooters. You have Maldonado and Ivy, a guard who can get a bucket at any time. Graham Ike and Edie, both dominant bigs. It's close. And but I kind of want to see with how Purdue's been playing. I'll go Wyoming. So
you go Wyoming,
yep.
And so it's 1-1. You're leaving it to me. Oh God. I mentioned in the video the other day how I think the Purdue team we saw against Illinois is closer to the Purdue team we saw against Michigan. And then Purdue went out and struggled again on Saturday. They got a win, but it wasn't a convincing win. Wyoming. I'll have the balls to do it. I'll have the balls to do it.
Go Cowboys.
We've been high on Purdue, and I think
I still am.
I think
high.
Purdue's going to sell us at some point. And I think Purdue's going to go right back up. We're going to get our confidence back up in Purdue. But right now, confidence in Purdue, even coming off a week where they beat Illinois and beat them fairly convincingly, my confidence and my stock in Purdue isn't too high right now.
And whoever would have thought that we have Wyoming beating Purdue? Like I've never even thought I would see Wyoming ranked.
Arkansas, Providence.
Arkansas, they're better.
Arkansas,
they got everything you want.
Okay, we'll send Arkansas. Texas and Houston. Now the Battle of Texas. I think Texas. I gave my recap of Houston earlier. Zach, give me 2 seconds on Houston for you.
Yeah, Houston just too banged up. No depth right now.
We'll send Texas right here. Kentucky, Indiana, Kentucky.
This Kentucky team is impressive.
Whoa, Kentucky right along. And we got Kentucky and Texas. I think Kentucky here.
I like Kentucky.
Yeah, I'll go Kentucky.
Kentucky's look good. Kentucky's not good. Kentucky's look great at points this year. Especially, I witnessed the murdering on TV of Kansas, where Kansas was not in that game. I've said before, I think Kansas wants another shot at them, and I think Kansas can do better than that. Yeah. But the Wildcats have looked great, and they're going to see how they look tonight in Knoxville, and we'll see. Arkansas, Wyoming, a 6-7 matchup in the Elite Eight.
Yeah. It'd be like last year, Oregon, USC, 6-7. Yeah. I as much as I love Wyoming, I'm going to go Arkansas here.
Arkansas's potential is really high right now, and I think if they play like they did against Auburn, they can be almost any team in the country.
All right, now we got Arkansas and Kentucky. What are your thoughts on this one, Zach?
I think I like. This is a good game. I think Kentucky is they're really good. Kentucky's just a hair better at every position. Mm-hmm. I think they're just a little better at almost everywhere. So I like Kentucky.
You like Kentucky in that game. We'll see how they turn out. Kentucky's got a big game tonight. We'll see how they turn out. Yeah.
And then let's head over to the next region. Oh yeah, Kentucky. My fault.
You're good.
2 1 seeds. I usually don't like to put 2 1 seeds, but those are the 2 best 1 seeds, I think, to both of us, right?
Arizona and UNC Wilmington here. The Wildcats stay on the number 1 line. I like the Wildcats right here.
I like Arizona as well.
Arizona goes. Boise State and TCU. Boise State stays in the 8 line. They make their way out of the Gonzaga region, though.
Yeah, they do.
Those two have been attached to the hip for a long time, but they're now sitting here in Arizona's region as an 8 seed. Do you like Boise State or do you like TCU? Broncos?
It's a toss-up game. I want to
Let's
hear
go.
your guys' opinion on it.
I like Boise State's ability to interrupt a team's flow and make them slow down and play in a way that they're not comfortable with. So I like Boise State in this.
And
Let's
they
go
will.
Big Blue.
I'm going to lean to TCU instantly. Just that Big 12 bias right there.
Yeah.
I think TCU gets hindered by the fact they play in the Big 12, but I think TCU's got a good team.
Okay. Well, just because we already have 2 Mountain West teams going, I'll say TCU this
Yeah,
time.
like
It pains
TCU.
me. I like Boise State. I
Yeah.
like to watch them, but I'll go TCU.
I just think TCU gets a little bit of that Big 12 hangover on them. If you put them the same thing with Kansas State, you put TCU in a different conference, I think you're talking a higher seed. So Ohio State and Creighton and Oregon. I like Oregon coming out of here.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't like Ohio State's roster. I just don't. Outside of EJ Liddell, the team's not very good. So I'm going to go Oregon as well.
Oregon goes right here. And now we got Tennessee and Iona. You like
I'll go Tennessee,
Tennessee?
here.
Tennessee, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go Tennessee. I like Iona.
You
And
like
I definitely
Tennessee?
could see Iona winning.
Yeah, I could definitely see it too. That's why I hesitated right here. Tennessee's going to tell us a lot tonight. We've been previewing this game. How many times we're going to mention Tennessee and Kentucky tonight? Who knows?
It's gonna be good, though.
But it's going to be a good game. It's a big game in the sense that we're going to get a read for the Volunteers tonight. Actually, this week, we're going to get a read for the Volunteers.
Sure.
They got a big game coming up on Saturday as well. We'll see what they roll out with. But right now, I like Tennessee in that matchup. Talk to me later this week, and we'll see how I feel about Tennessee. UConn and Iowa State BYU. UConn.
I like UConn.
UConn.
Shinogo is the difference maker here.
Illinois and Wagner.
Illinois.
Illinois.
Wagner actually just lost their first game
Yeah.
the other day.
Okay, we'll send the line I threw. Wagner coming off a loss now. USC and North Carolina. SC.
I'll go SC. Yeah, I'll go. It's a
SC.
toss-up game, but
Yeah. Texas State and Baylor. Battle of Texas right here. Baylor.
that's several battles of Texas.
Yeah.
But yeah, Baylor.
We got Baylor, USC, Baylor.
Baylor.
They did lose Jonathan Chamwa, but
I was thinking in my head a little bit here. I was thinking in my head about second guessing that thought a little bit. I think where are you going to talk about Baylor? Baylor's undersized. Where are you going to talk about USC and what they bring to the table? They bring size.
and Baylor lost Jonathan Chamwa, which is their kind of their heart and soul on
Yeah.
defense. So that'll be a big loss for them, but I think they have enough. to
I
fight
think
USC.
Baylor gets this game, but it's not a great matchup for Baylor, though. It's not. I don't think they like seeing USC in that part. Not that USC is a better team. I think just matchup wise, it doesn't match up great for Baylor.
And SC had a huge win against UCLA too. Gave me more trust.
UConn and Illinois here. Illinois.
Illinois.
A good game, but I think Illinois.
Tennessee, Oregon, Tennessee.
I think this really comes down to me what they show to me against Kentucky. Do they play well, or if they completely fall apart against a good team? But
Yeah.
as of right now, I'd go Tennessee.
More trust in Tennessee right now.
Arizona, TCU. I like Arizona here.
I like Arizona.
No debate right here. Okay. Arizona, Tennessee. I like Arizona again. I don't.
Yeah, this will be a rematch earlier this year when the refs kind of handed Tennessee that game earlier in the year. So let's go Arizona.
I like Arizona here. I think Arizona's got a good team. I like the way they're playing. I like Pac-12. I think is a good conference this year. I think they got some teams that could make some runs. We'll see what they do, but I think Arizona wins this one. Illinois and Baylor.
Especially with the loss of Joshua. I think it's Illinois.
I think Kofi has his way.
I think he does too.
I like it. I like that too.
Kofi has his way in that game. I think Illinois gets that game. Arizona and Illinois here.
I'm picking Illinois. Illinois,
Rematch.
they're fantastic.
Rematch again.
I like Illinois.
You both like Illinois in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona got a win against Illinois earlier this year. What
Yeah.
is making you think you want to pick Illinois in that one?
Illinois has we finally gotten healthy now.
Mhm.
We're a much more complete team. 'Cause in December when we played that game, we
That
were
was in Champaign.
in
right?
Champaign, so it was a great win by Arizona. We We weren't all there yet. Now we're tough to beat.
I like Arizona in that game for the record. I think Arizona's got a good team and they've proven they can beat Illinois, and I think they do it again. But we'll send the 2-1 consensus, sends Illinois through. Auburn here as the number one against Southern University in New Orleans. Auburn rolls. St. Mary's and Loyola Chicago.
St. Mary's has
St.
been
Mary's?
impressive. Loyola Chicago's kind of trending
Yeah,
down.
two different trends right here. St. Mary's goes. Michigan State, Davidson. I think I know Zach's going to pick right here. I'll say Michigan State just for the heck of it. Now give me your pick right here, Trey.
I don't trust Michigan State.
Mine is
I
actually because Davidson has been really faltering. Really faltering.
So
of
you
late.
have confidence here in Michigan State.
Fine. This is one of the only 5-12 games I would, just because how Davidson's really been struggling lately. So I'm going to go Michigan State.
Okay. Hey, I like it. That's my pick too. But we're not confident in Michigan State here on this show.
No.
Villanova and Toledo here.
Nova. Too much.
Villanova, Michigan State. That's later. Sorry. Xavier and SMU here. SMU. Hey.
Entering in.
Yeah. Look at that. They go from out of the tournament into an 11 here, and I like the ponies.
I kind of like the ponies too. Kendrick Davis, like he leads the American in scoring. He's an elite scorer. You need those in March. Let's go.
Talk about a team right there. The ponies get the win. UCLA and Seattle here. UCLA.
Yeah, UCLA.
Yes.
UCLA. Iowa, Wake Forest.
I think Iowa's going in a better direction right now because didn't Wake Forest just lose?
Yeah, they lost to Miami on Saturday.
Yeah.
I'll go Wake
Toss
Forest,
up,
I guess.
but-
I don't really know.
Wake. Okay, we'll send Wake. Kansas and Long Beach, Kansas.
Yeah.
Kansas, Wake Forest, Kansas.
Yep.
SMU, UCLA.
I haven't seen enough
LA.
of SMU yet, so let's go UCLA.
For a lack of knowledge, we'll
Yeah.
say
I just know they have the elite score for SMU.
Mhm.
Need to watch them play.
Michigan State and Villanova here. Nova.
Nova.
I know
I
you're
like
Michigan
Nova.
State sucks. They're not good.
But I'm not high on Nova either.
They're better.
To be
though.
honest, if they're better, but is 2 better than 1? Like is 2 higher than 1? Yeah, but they're still really low. Not like does
No,
you know what I mean?
That is fair. Both
Like-
the out of 4 or 5 game, I think they're not great.
They're you're always gonna is that I'm not. They win in a battle of teams that I'm not confident in. I'll say that. Auburn and St. Mary's. Auburn. Zach,
Auburn in a
you're thinking here.
Auburn in a close one. St. Mary's does a good job dictating pace,
Mhm.
and I think whoever dictates pace wins the game. But I'll go Auburn.
You know what I'm gonna say right here. I want to hear your guys' thoughts.
I don't trust Auburn because Auburn's been barely squeaking by teams that aren't even ranked and don't even have high potential. And Nova has higher potential than all those teams. I know you're low on them, but I think they get this win right here over Auburn.
I'm actually this is gonna be tough for you, Will. I'm
I
low.
don't-
I'm low on Auburn too. They're 22-2. I'll tell you the thing that
What have
worries-
you seen out of Nova that what have you seen out of Nova that makes you believe them more than Auburn though? Is my
Here-
question.
Okay, that's a fair question. Here's what it comes down to. Watching Auburn, watching their guards is absolutely, it hurts my eyes to watch their guards.
Yeah.
They're turnover prone. They jack up 30 footers like 10 times a game. Wendell Green pulls up from 30. He thinks he's Steph Curry. He's nowhere near.
Yeah.
Both their guards shoot the ball under 39% from the field. That's an issue to me. The turnovers are an issue. Zed Jasper's back, their point guard, and because they've been using Wendell Green at the point. And if Zed Jasper gives me confidence, then I'm more confident in Auburn because he is more of a true point guard.
Mhm.
Whereas they've not had that lately. But I still think Nova, just because point guard play is so important in March Madness, and they have the better point guard, and I like Nova the tournament experience.
I also think Auburn has the best player in that game.
No, that's fair. They do have the best player in that game.
And I think that makes a difference right there. I think I will die and I'll scream from the heavens. I think Auburn wins that game. I'm getting outvoted here. This is
For me, it was Nova's win over Xavier when they went into Cincinnati and had that game in Xavier. And because they beat Xavier in Cincinnati, right?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
For that was the deciding factor for me in that game, that they could go to a somewhat hostile environment and win a big game.
Yeah. Xavier can be tough to win at sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll send. So you're talking the game back in January.
Mm-hmm.
We have
A
watched
lot-
Big East a lot this
A
year.
lot's happened since then. Okay. We're not going to spend hours talking about it. But if
You can probably tell we probably will spend hours talking about it after this.
Kansas and UCLA here, I like Kansas.
I like Kansas too.
Kansas.
Kansas and Nova, don't even get me going.
It's gonna
You
be
get-
Kansas.
Okay, don't even. I was ready to throw something here. I was ready to throw something
I should
here.
have said it just for the.
Man, that would have been. That's worse than your Mountain West takes half the time. We got Kansas, Illinois here. I like Kansas in this matchup.
I like Illinois. It's gonna be down to Trey. Trey to split the vote. Go with who you want, Trey. It'll be okay either
I
way.
think Oach is gonna win Kansas this game.
Thank you. Thank you. Illinois did lose last week to Purdue, right?
Mhm.
They're
Yeah.
0-2 against Purdue.
And we haven't beat one of the top
The top
10.
dog. Yeah.
So and Kansas is obviously one of the top 10.
So we'll see here. Gonzaga and Kentucky on the other half here. I like Gonzaga.
I'm more impressing. I like Kentucky here.
You
I
like
think
Kentucky? Okay.
it's close though. These teams are.
I
good,
think it's a
good.
great game. What do you like?
Trey's got his
Trey?
Kentucky shirt on.
I
but-
do have my Kentucky shirt on, but this is a close one. This is almost 50-50 for me, but I think just with I haven't watched that much Kentucky, but just from the results I've been seeing, I like Kentucky in this.
Kentucky's got a young squad here. I think you like Kentucky here. I think what makes it Gonzaga was there last year. Those boys know what they're getting themselves into in that matchup.
Yeah.
And I think that makes a big difference. Kentucky Kentucky didn't make the tournament last year.
No, they didn't make tournament. Like they were like 9-19.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
So part of me likes Gonzaga in that matchup just because they've been there. And I think there's a taste in some of those boys' mouths after that game last year. And I think they're determined to get back there. Zach often likes to say he doesn't like to pick teams that have been and made a run previously the year before. I think something's different about this Gonzaga team though.
Yeah. Since March Madness is so sporadic, I usually tend to not like to go back-to-back teams to a Final Four, but
I think this Gonzaga team's determined, but again, I get outvoted. And we got Kansas, Kentucky here. Oh.
I think Kentucky is just a little better at most positions. They haven't been here as much, and they were 9-19 last year, but they didn't really have Shebue for last year. They didn't have Kellen Grady from transferred in. So I think I like Kentucky to win.
You like Kentucky in that game. Before Trey gets going here, we're going to give my take on it. You're going to see a lot more KJ Adams in that game. I don't think McCormick touches the floor much. I think KJ Adams gets the Shebue assignment in that game. And then now it comes down to what's going to happen. What's going to happen in that game. Kentucky had a guy go off. They had Keon Brooks have the game of his career. Guy couldn't miss. And I think that was a big power for Kentucky in their game.
Yeah.
I think that was Jay Billis said it best during the game. That was a hockey game out there. I think it's tough to get a read for the two teams, honestly, in that sense, because of how physical that game was and what was getting let go by the officiating.
I will say it'll be closer. The main thing that I take away from the Kansas Kentucky game earlier was that Bill Self was mostly running like a box in one and triangle in two, and Keon Brooks was the main benefactor of that. It left Keon Brooks wide open at times.
Keon Brooks putting up 27 again, though.
That's
That's my question.
Bill Self won't run that defense again. It was
No.
he was daring people to shoot, and it was interesting to watch. Bill Self have a completely different game plan, and but I still think Kentucky in a close one.
I like
would win.
Kansas in this game. Trey's gonna get to make his pitch right here in a second, but I'll say this: I think Kansas makes Wheeler beat them. They say, "Beat us, score, Sevier, go score. Don't facilitate, go score, and be the winner if you're gonna beat us." And that's the script that I think Kansas goes with in that game, and they live and die by it. And I'll say Kansas gets it done. But Trey, what is your pick?
I think you're not going to be happy with this, Will,
No.
but I think it's going to be Kentucky. Kentucky has 4 guys averaging over 10 points a game. And I think just the ability, if you can slow down Oach just enough, it's gonna be super close. But I think they're just gonna, I think just the little more oh my gosh, I can't talk. But the ability to to have one more score is gonna be.
You're saying they
deciding
have more
factor.
scorers on that team?
That Kansas only has 3 guys averaging over 10 a game, and Kentucky has 4.
Who are your 3 right now for Kansas? I don't have it off the top of my head. I would say you're talking.
He's gonna be talking Oach at 20, Brown at 15,
Yeah.
and you're gonna have
Wilson.
Wilson.
Wilson's at 10.5.
Yeah, but you can get that at DeJuan Harris. I think you can get 10. And we're not. This is going to go on off the camera. But again, I get outvoted. Kentucky gets the win here. What's your guys' score?
75-70.
75. 70. They get the win. That's our final right here.
No, but there's a lot of good games in college
Mhm.
basketball this week. I'm really excited for tonight. I'm probably gonna be watching for several hours tonight. I want to see a lot of these games, and we appreciate the support. Keep subscribing, and yeah,
Thanks guys, we appreciate it. Leave your comments. Flame these two. Get at them. Get at them. I need
Right.
some defense in the comments section here. But like you said, we love the responses, especially last video. You guys got involved. We love hearing what you guys think. We love to hear
yeah, it was
What-
really fun responding to some of the
Mhm.
comments we had. Like, I love just we all love seeing those comments. So keep those.
So we're excited. We're gonna keep coming for you guys. We're gonna keep sharing our stuff, and so we hope you guys enjoy it. Get your puppies in order. We'll see you guys next week.